All right, we out here. I wanted to switch things up because most of the time I'm sitting in that goddamn chair. Right now I'm walking to get some more almond milk and shit for my shake. Every morning I have this shake. It's about 1,000 calories. When you bulking and shit, especially for us skinny dudes, you gotta make sure you're getting as much calories as you can in, especially healthy. You try and live a long life too. No fucking point in being big as shit and 30 years old and then you die. So yeah, you try and have it all, you gotta be about it all. So, but yeah, hey, listen, if you a brother and you ain't managing your finances properly, you ain't shit. I don't give a fuck what you heard. I used to be one of them people a few years ago, but you ain't shit if you ain't managing your finances properly. So all that, let me tell y'all something. It's not required, but if you trying to save up a considerable amount of money over time, you got to save a certain percentage of your paycheck. So this means you need to be making sure you live in a lifestyle that you can afford so that you can save that certain percentage. Most times, on average, they recommend most financial experts would tell you, save between 20 and 40%. I save about 30% of my paycheck. So you know what that means? I don't be spending a lot of money. I don't spend a lot of money on my ass at all. I barely buy clothes. And it's not that I don't have clothes. I got plenty. But I'm not pressed to impress the next person that I step outside with. You know what I'm saying? You fuck with me, you fuck with me. It doesn't really matter what the fuck I'm wearing. You know what I'm saying? So y'all gotta get out this motherfucking mindset. Always having to wear, get the latest and greatest shoes and shit. I've been wearing the same. I got I want to say 8-10 pair of shoes, all different. And they not a bunch of motherfucking Jordans. Because I don't be spending a lot of money on my shoes. I'm going to tell you one thing. You don't see me stressing about no motherfucking $400 pair of shoes. Or no $800 shirt from goddamn Gucci. Y'all need to stop trying to pull women with just what you look like on the external. You need to work on the internal too, you know what I'm saying? And so you can you might externally look better than me, but internally you some shit. And internally, one of the things that I consider somebody being some shit on is finances. Ain't nothing more unattractive to me than a woman who can't manage their finances properly. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of women feel that same fucking way. And when you talking about financial success and opportunities and stuff like that right there, you need to be making sure that you're not blowing all your goddamn money on going on dates or blowing all your money on drinks because you want to go out to drink every goddamn weekend or every motherfucking day or always buying a bottle of wine or some shit. I don't even drink. You could catch me paying what's the average rate? I remember I did some math on this shit. Like the average amount a person would spend at a bar in this area, like the DC, Maryland, Virginia area, it's about $12 to $15 for a shot, some shit like that. And so I did the math. I said, if a person only went out drinking, and the average drinker drinks about maybe 2 drinks a night, and they only went out Friday night and Saturday night. If that was the only 2 days they went, and they went every weekend, they'll spend about over $2,000 a year after taxes. So that plus the additional money you probably spend going out to eat, which for most Americans average about another $2,000+. And I'm keeping it real simple. It's a lot higher than that from what I recall. And most people don't. And I know people who didn't just drink only on those 2 days that I'm talking about. So that plus the takeout, the eating out shit, that's separate from your groceries. So that's $4,000 right there that you spending every year. Now in your head you probably thinking that shit small, but that shit add up. That shit add up real quick. $4,000 a year, And then when you factor in the fact that you're probably putting aside a considerable amount of money for groceries, see, I put about $500 a month aside for just groceries. I eat a lot. And I used to, and when I was, the first time I went bulking, I was spending about $1,000 a month just on groceries. You can see how that shit adds up. So me eating out a lot was like a big no-no. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of that money had to go into groceries and stuff like that. And so what I'm basically trying to say is that you gotta learn how to prioritize your money. You can't be out here just blowing it on fucking whatever and then wonder why your checking account says $2.52 and your savings account says $4. You need to fucking be put money into that goddamn savings account. And fuck what you heard about this whole, well, it's not, banks don't give you a lot of interest and blah, 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 blah. Fuck y'all, man. Y'all not a bunch of investors anyway. A lot of y'all don't even know what the fuck y'all doing. So y'all need to shut the hell up about that bullshit. Fucking worrying about how much a bank gives you on interest. Fuck all that, man. Fuck all that. And if you was actually focusing on saving, the interest wouldn't even fucking matter to you. Y'all need to be making sure y'all get y'all savings in. Y'all should be saving at least 20% of y'all paycheck every goddamn time you get paid. Every goddamn time. I don't ever deviate. The only time I deviate is if I'm budgeting aside some money for an expense that is benefiting me. So if it's an expense, like for example, if it's an expense that's going to make me more money down the road, and it's something I have to, so I have to cut. So let's say I got paid and I'm trying to put $800 aside every paycheck, but I need to save up with something additional outside of my expenses. So I may say, okay, I'm gonna cut my 800 savings down to like 400 for this paycheck and the next one so I can have the money. I'm still saving. You see what I mean? I'm still saving. But that's how you fucking budget. A lot of y'all goddamn scared to do them budgeting shit. Hold on, I'm going the wrong way. A lot of y'all fucking scared to do budgeting and shit because one of the things is y'all gotta face y'all goddamn reality. You wanna know what that reality is? The bank statements. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Y'all bank statements looking like shit. I swear to God it is. I can't tell you how many people been telling me like how they would they never want to, when you like on some, I think on most bank account apps, when you could click like the card or something like that you use for like your checking account, or click the checking account and then it would show you the bank statement and show you everything you paid for that entire month or so, or even farther back than that. A lot of y'all don't want to look at that because y'all know damn well y'all been spending y'all money like crazy. Y'all gonna see a bunch of minus signs. See, I get irritated when I see too many minus signs. You do realize, let me tell y'all something. You do realize that that's how businesses function, right? Target, Walmart, Walgreens. How the fuck you think these motherfuckers last? They last because one of the things they do, which they still do to this day, is they budget and they account for every dollar that they expense. So they have things like operating expense. Operating expense is everything that they have to pay for to keep the business operating. That's why it's called that. Then they got to worry about interest expense. Usually if you wanted to do an average math of how much a business may have to pay on interest, sometimes you could just run a percentage. Then they got to worry about taxes. Taxes is usually like, again, if you want to do like a basic equation, you could just consider 40%. You know what I'm saying? So all of this has to be accounted for when they run in their checks and balances and stuff like that. And they do this every single time, every year, all year. You gotta know where your money is going, basically, is what I'm saying. They do. A statement of cash flows, that's what that's called. That's why it's in the name. Where is their money cash flowing to? Is it cash flowing into a medium that's not making them no money? Is it making them a deficit? Or is it cash flowing into something that's going to make them a profit in the long run? You need to know where all your money's cash flowing to. So when y'all talk about And I see this a lot on online and stuff like that. When y'all talk about treating yourselves like a business, that's part of that business mindset responsibility. Your bank statements is a reflection of your cash flow. Where is your money cash flowing to? How much is it cash flowing out versus staying in? Are you cash flowing some of your money into things that's going to benefit you in the long run? Whether that's school, fucking a certification, whatever case may be, something that's investing in either yourself or you making investments into something else that may benefit you down the road. That's cash flows. You need to know where your money's going. A lot of y'all be losing $15, $20 here and there throughout y'all pay periods, and y'all don't even know where that money's going or why that money got taken out. Y'all need to know where the fuck y'all money going. This is why some of y'all still stay poor. And then when y'all have emergency funds, y'all don't have that. The average American have about less than $1,000 in their emergency savings. You realize that's crazy, right? That's crazy as hell. Y'all need to start knowing where the fuck y'all money's going. I'm telling y'all, that shit's dead ass serious. And I'm the type of brother. I'd rather assume shit's gonna get worse than get easier. So, in the land of the economy, could the interest rates go further down? Yes. But am I gonna bet on that shit? No. I'm gonna get to where I need to fucking be, so I ain't gotta worry about that shit so much. You know what I'm saying? So stop putting y'all asses in debt. Stop getting these goddamn Apple cars and shit. Getting all this additional debt, and y'all can't even afford to pay that shit off. Stop fucking traveling so fucking much just because you want to look like you on a goal, but really you just poor as hell. Oh yeah, I traveled to Greece, but then in the back end, your fucking your credit card says plus $3,000 for that month. That's not cool to me, and I can easily assume most of y'all doing that. So I think if you want, if you worrying about longevity and financial success, that's something you're gonna have to consider making the sacrifices right now. If you're gonna put yourself in any form of debt, whether it's short-term or long-term debt, it should be stuff that's gonna make you a profit down the road. No matter how long it takes, it should be something that's gonna put you in a W at some point. So that means, like, for example, I think a good example, while I don't 100% agree with this example, but I think for most people, y'all can relate. School is one of those weird examples of investing in yourself. And why I say weird is because student loan debt ain't great at all. It's nowhere near close. Any debt is not so great, but some debt is better than others. And student loan debt, frankly speaking to me, I would put that at the bottom. If I were to rank debt in order, I'll put that at the fucking bottom. I'll probably put that at the very last bottom. And then I would put credit card debt right beside that shit. Now, when you start talking about business loans and, house loans and stuff like that, now you're looking at better debt. This is still debt, but it's debt that could benefit you in the long run if you did your due diligence and your due care. You made sure you bought a house that was not only something you like, but also can be a benefit down the road. It's cool when you get something that's far out for a house just because you want to have a house. But then in the long run, when you're thinking about 15 years later, unless you knew what was going to happen down in that area, that house is only as good for living in. Ain't good for renting out. Ain't good for house valuation. Maybe it doesn't even go up that much in value. You know what I'm saying? This is why people who be so quick to buy condos, they don't get what they were looking for. Condos ain't that great because the land that it sits on is not yours. It's the owners. It's the people who own the entirety of that condo. That's why the values of condos don't go up like that compared to a townhouse or a single family home. I can go on all day about this bullshit. I can go on all day. But I think y'all starting to get the motherfucking premise after 15 minutes. Get your fucking money right. Stop spending it on bullshit. Stop spending all this goddamn money on drinks, on fucking food, external foods. I'm not saying you can't go out to eat sometimes, but y'all just need to be more mindful. So how do you be more mindful? Being proactive. How you be proactive? Look at your goddamn bank statements throughout your pay period. As you buy something, check your bank account. Say, okay, this is how much I have left until my next pay period. This is how much I spent. Damn, I got a lot of minuses already. Damn, I didn't know I brought all that. All right, well, let me chill out a little bit. You see what I mean? That's how you keep track. This is how businesses play their roles. This is how they know where their cash is flowing at. That's why it's called the statement of cash flows. Where is your cash going? That's what you're trying to understand when you do that shit. And let me tell y'all a little secret that I do. So outside of having a motherfucking budget like everybody should have, when you look at your bank statement and you see where your money's going, what you essentially are trying to do after the fact is adjust your budget and your spending habits based on what you're doing, based on your bank statement. So if you spend too much money, let's say after a whole pay period you spend a total of $500, but you're trying to save at least 20% of your paycheck, and that extra $300 that you spend every 2 weeks is keeping you from saving 20%, right? It's only allowing you to save maybe 15%, but you're trying to hit that 20, right? What you want to do is say, okay, you add up all the times you made expenditures that was outside of your required expenses such as your rent, utilities and stuff like that. That's required. So we're not adding up those numbers. We don't add up that. We add up things like Popeyes, or if you went out on a date and you spent like $50 or anything like that, you add that shit up. And you add up all those numbers. That bag of chips you bought for $3.59, you add that shit up too. I don't care if it was a fucking dollar, you add that shit too. And at the end, you add up all those numbers from the day that your pay period began, like the day you got your paycheck, and all the way to the last day before your next paycheck. And then if it's coming up at $500 and you want that down to $300, this is how you make adjustments. So you say, okay, next time, and then you add up the number, say, okay, how much can $300 last me? How many days? You know what I like to do is I like to take $300 and I divide it by the days that it would take before I get my next paycheck. And then I would say, okay, on average, $300 will give me about $20 or so a day. So that means that if I spend, let's say $40 one day, that means I got to take a day out that I'm not going to spend anything out. You see what I mean? This is how you make sure you keep track of your spending habits. Or this is another way. I'm just saying that shit works for me because I wasn't initially doing shit like that. And I was also one of them people who I didn't want to look at my bank statement and all that other stuff right there. But you got to get out of all that bullshit, man. That's some mindset fuckery that you're doing to yourself. If you have a problem looking at your bank statements because you know damn well you're spending too much fucking money. So you need to get out of that goddamn mindset. You got to start changing your perspective and say, okay, if I want to feel comfortable looking at my bank statement, then I need to be better as a spender and a consumer, you know what I'm saying? And start treating myself like a goddamn business, since that's what y'all talking about. But like I said, that's something that helps me. If you try, minimize your expenditures, you need to track them and say, okay, I'm spending $200 more every pay period than I want. I want to bring this down to $300. Businesses do this. This is how they adjust their spending and their savings so that they can live longer, so the business can last longer. This is how we as people need to think, so that we can live longer and we can maintain our independency without being dependent on somebody else, including the government. So that's all I had to fucking tell y'all. Motherfucker, men, manage your goddamn finances. Don't be over here talking about you trying to lead a woman and run a whole family and you can't manage your finances for your goddamn self yet. Manage your goddamn finances. Know where your goddamn money is cash flowing to, how much money you saving, Make sure you're saving at least 20% of your paycheck, and you're gonna be solid, I promise. Don't fucking worry about all that goddamn investment yet. You know what I'm saying? We'll talk about investment at another time once you save up at least 6+ months of your goddamn savings for expenses, for emergency. So that way, if you lose your goddamn job, you ain't gonna be fucking homeless. All right, I'm gonna talk to y'all later.